research and this might be a bit controversial, but for now, ANC is the best party in the world, and I'm not, and this is not because of I'm a member. I'm not. I don't plan to be a member of the ANC.
Yeah.
But they are the best. Open as much as I spoke about Ditabane, like our ANC just said King blanket. If it doesn't matter if you're gay, you're lesbian, you can even get married in South Africa. No questions asked if you're gay.
Yeah.
And happily policy change. One of the two biggest problems that the ANC or our government, for now personally speaking, education, because our education is a one size fits all. Not every so and this is one of the biggest things I can say about that is and no disrespect mara education nobody can be something in life 30% or 40%, and not everybody is academically inclined towards life. Because I remember my mom used to say back in the days, it wasn't even if no academically in Twimbo, no to span. And if no sana span, if you are loitering around, no ya tronco. And the following day, but to span.
All right, man. Welcome to it. This is another episode of the Free Ride Podcast. Big ups and thank you very much to everybody that keeps liking this show, keeps giving me thumbs up. Make sure that you continue to subscribe. And I see your comments. Thank you very much. We're growing every single day because of you guys, man. I really appreciate it. I've got an interesting guest now in studio, man. A fellow podcaster, a creative director, a man who's actually very busy and he's passionate about this game as well. So, Diboy Mashesha. Proaga.
My brother.
Shaboreng Proaga.
Happiness.
Minister of Happiness.
Yeah.
Come home.
Yeah.
Wow, man. I'm so happy that you could join me, man.
Most definitely, man. Like, the thing is, I personally even DM'd you. I was like,
yeah,
bro, put me on. And it was more in a sense of I believe in my journey. I love my journey.
Yeah.
I'm younger than you for obvious reasons. So I get my pebeza recently and sorry. I met my destiny before I met her.
Oh,
yeah. So I even made a vow. I remember even the friends that I was hanging out prior to everything, the mushroom becoming the things the way they are. And I even told them, chance, mara if like later,
yeah,
see.
Well, you cut out the baggage.
4 and 2. 4 and 2.
And it wasn't easy though.
It wasn't. The thing is, once you put yourself into the mentality, it's easy to cut people.
Oh yeah.
But true. What is hard about it is readjusting. So, for example, I can running a dope organization.
Yeah.
You need different people in different roles.
Mm.
And I something that people very by an administrator.
Yeah.
Somebody who ensures the proposals, who knows where the profile is, the invoice, the codes, the ads are on time. If somebody says, send me your code, within 5 to 10 minutes.
True.
Motho jwalo is very essential. So losing that type of a person in your organization, it hampers the business.
Yeah.
Mara, hence, besides Motho jwalo, Mara, there's essential cogs in running the business.
Yeah.
Mara, you if it means what entrepreneurship does to you is as much as, and I can just especially young entrepreneurs, is I mean I sang manje sengispanile boma 5 years 6 years ngifuna uqasha umuntu ngihlale phansi nanje ngizaletha imali bese. You must always know how the business operates.
True.
In and out, be it from the accounting level, be it from the administrator level, be it from the product level, be it all of the smaller details. You must always know, so that once you transfer the skill or once you to do that skill or sponsor you, if I go by you know from the finest detail, oh man,
yeah. No, that's quite important, man. But I think we're gonna go big into that a little bit later. I want to start off to introduce to our followers, man, to Diboy Mashesha, you know, about Ave, so that when we start speaking about all the other content, but
on the 7th of July this year, there's a good chance a lot of people saw me on the news, SABC News. We were doing the Soweto 710 Cannabis Festival.
Oh yeah?
I was there with Chaf Posi because, okay, let me put it like this. Because I was telling even my people, go WhatsApp, I want to introduce myself as a Kasi superstar, and I told somebody, go to the Soweto 710 Cannabis Festival, and I'm part of the Trevor Noah Foundation.
Yeah.
And so what do you do?
Yeah.
Part of the LGBTQI plus community.
Oh yeah. It's a big community.
Yeah. So I'm just I'm a Kasi superstar at there.
Yeah.
And I think one of the reasons I'm saying is for coming from the hood and telling I'm not that person who likes to say I come from the dusty streets of Soweto.
Yeah.
It's 1994, Mr. Sipo. And in the next hour or so, I say a lot of things.
Okay.
Hence, I'm a podcaster.
Yeah.
Podcaster is about expression.
Yeah.
Mara, in a nutshell, my name is Diboy Mashesha, Mashesha, Truth Mashesha, Ngobevele Mashesha, Brother Mesh on fleek, I got Mr. Ngobevele in the picture.
Nice.
Yeah. But I'm a creative director, for my life. I began Official Major World. Skipper is my creative agency that I began in 2018. Initially began it as a podcast. We did our first podcast called Melville. I'm sure 27 boxes.
Oh yeah. Is that place still there?
It still exists, Mara. It's just
not the same.
Yeah, it's not the same. And in fact, I don't think it's never reached its potential. Yeah. Because of management, that thing is way too strict. Because I wanna like it's a creative's heaven.
It is, dog.
But the people who own that place are not creatives. So to look maybe event la raza.
What?
And
that place is perfectly suitable for creatives, dog. Yo.
It used to be colorful, and then by change it must be white and gray.
Damn.
Every single box there used to have a different color.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
And
then now it's like white and gray.
So that's where you started.
That's where it began. Go 27 boxes. Ran 2018, 19, Lima Chimbosi. And then the next thing after that vibration, I went into Mr. Ntlekza, standardization.
Hola.
He's a local farmer. He's part of the community.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Local farmer.
Yeah.
From Orlando, if you don't know. Man.
Ganjalo, Orlando West.
Orlando
Yeah,
West.
I always to remind people, Moki Orlando West.
Oh,
Because
yeah. There's a
Orlando
difference.
West, Orlando East.
Yeah.
Orlando East, people know it for me. Cool. No offense.
Oh yeah.
But I get Orlando Pirates. I get there's Orlando Pirates, the Kaizer Chiefs.
Yeah.
So each Orlando in its own team. Orlando West is Kaizer Chiefs. Orlando Pirates.
Oh. Okay.
So that's why these type of things, Rona, we take it very serious. Especially if
Yeah. You correct motora and that. I get to that.
And when people say Casina, they only say Villagas. And Villagas is not a casa, Villagas is a street.
Yeah.
There's so many. Orlando West, it encompasses Mzimhlope, Pumlong, Kilani, Extension, and on top of that, there's different locations. There's the Winnie Mandela House, there's the Walter Sisulu House, Kamuki, the Nelson Mandela House, there's different elements. There's Montutu's house.
This is like a home of legends.
Abigail Kubega lives 2 streets away from here.
So it's a home of legends.
Currently, like if you watch Tando Tabete, the Tabudi, Orlando West Extension.
What?
Real talk.
Damn.
Real talk.
So you were born and bred here.
Born and bred here.
Yeah.
Since '94, I'm one of the few people who are not born Kopara.
Where were you born?
I was born
Full clinic.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You can be born there.
I'm not sure if Honanong is still possible, but my mom, she made a conscious decision. Like, I think I'm tired in Tonaya.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, I tell you, full clinic. Now I must have a different story.
What?
Yeah, me nicer myself. So,
Yeah.
Getting back to the initial question, Mr. Sipo, do you have a nickname?
Yeah, Zach.
Zach.
Yeah.
Let me call you Zach.
Okay, cool. There we go.
So, Brazek.
Hola.
Is it right like that?
No, it's all good, brother.
So, I wanna going back to the initial question. First and foremost, I wanted to be a DJ and a podcaster.
Oh yeah.
Since I even have a book when I was 13 years old. Most of the things that are happening right now, I wrote them down when I was 13 years old.
Are you serious, dog? What?
I wanted to be. I even wrote the 7 albums I was supposed to drop.
What?
And then I was supposed to drop my first album when I was 23. House Florian's Dream, because I wanted to be a producer. Like Nanya House. When I was 13 years old, I started selling the Cadbury. The Cadbury sweets.
Oh yeah. What?
Real talk.
No paisa those things.
I've been an entrepreneur since I was 13 years old.
Oh shit.
Since Kipereka. And man, where is it? Actually, when I was 16, 17, when I was that, I was like, I used to have money.
No lippies.
I always had money those days. And the only reason is because I was an entrepreneur. Nik paisa the sweets, mazimba, the biscuit, the prefect. They couldn't touch me. Because libon le baraka konna.
So no keleza guy.
Nikeleza ko John Botanical High School.
Where is it?
Wabana strata setting is called Empire Road.
Oh, okay.
So ekomrawa after.
Oh yes, I
and
see.
Then happily Vets University leone ekomrawa ron.
Oh yes.
Mill Park, limagana say Mill Park, masetting
Oh yes. Okay, cool, man. So from that age group, you were just always entrepreneurial.
Yeah,
always
I was always entrepreneurial.
And how do I make money?
And the funny story about Kipa City Sweets,
yeah,
there was no mutumonarxa the yogurt and
oh yeah.
And then Karnarxa at a dumb price, and I was like, you still apply.
Yeah.
Meaning I'm buying things like Sasa at a more affordable price. I did that. And then because of I love talking to people. I've always loved talking to people.
Yeah. In natural,
right? So
yeah.
When I'm talking to people, like also you need to go into character.
Yeah.
Because I wanna like train. I started train from I was like grade 3, grade 4.
Oh yeah,
Nekriya ko Pumlong station.
Oh okay.
Kara.
Oh yeah.
But when I pause, I get Epiphany station le Pumlong station.
Oh yes.
So I nekriya da but people who sell come training, they've got characters.
No, you have to be. Yeah.
Hey, no ma, hey guava,
I remember
guava
that.
turat. So it naturally you know what, I need to follow that vibe.
Yeah.
And I used to make a killing. Kiliwan. I wasn't those people like vibe, but I 3-4 scheme. Nah. Gunman, nikitola my own suppliers, gunman. Can I live in Libuka where by making one okay? The 2 days profits, Kibuka from Mazemba, the biscuit, the sweetie. I was making like 100-200 rands a day. And I guess I get sang, neka chele that thing. Mafela Khwedi, Nikki, I would go. Do you remember the days about musically reliable music warehouse?
Yes.
I wasn't even looking into 1994.
Yeah.
Mari, I understand that feeling. Nikki, only musically reliable music warehouse ko campus ko. Nikki, I kilomamela house music. Lotela di pinatsa house music.
What?
Yeah. Then
or CD or mamel.
Yeah, I didn't except believe much your cooperated music.
Oh, you didn't?
And except believe more. And I was thinking the thing is that my sound system nisa dumelane le dipina dintho tsa MP3 and gape le sound quality thing nisa tswe the way more original because my sister ke na bereka so ne go tla dipina tsa gagwe a ke di mamela ke hey man quality is better high original ren tsa MP3 so ka lena let me go in that same vein of form
already man at that age
no
understand the quality of sound.
Can understand the quality of sound arrangement of music because that's how I learned how to mix by listening to other people's mix so like what DJ Fresh I'm sure when a hot man like a Prazak understand what DJ Fresh did to us.
I revolutionized music dog
and
like scheme sales about Kabzela YFM, Kabuma 97, 96,
the whole shebang.
98, 99.
The whole shebang.
Yeah.
Fetcho is my idol.
Oh yeah.
Fetcho is the only person who gets about Katatazela. Yeah. Show football. Autograph. He is the only person who gets about like. Because I was...
And that nigga was big, dog.
Huge.
Yes.
Huge.
But what he has done for radio, though, also, like Breakfast, it's never been the same. Never been the same. Okay, so when did your love for radio start?
When I go work at YFM, and it reminds me of this... It's even a Chevrolet thing, but the Danonale Chomani.
Oh yes.
Tuso, le I think le Robert Marao, and then le and Tate Masondo.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Hopefully, I that program and currently le ba interview Robert Marao go McG, and then he was mentioning how there was a time whereby le ba sana ba kopane ka mo at an elevator. And then I wanna the shows I wanna more or less dikena ka nako one. In the mornings, I want back in the days. So why go use this is all of those people. I have 4 sisters.
Yeah.
So all those 4 sisters, bang can some more radio one way or another. Kona lo mong salang kenya mo radio because of salak unkesa kenya house music. Omong salang kenya mo radio because of the mamela radio the whole day.
Yeah.
Omong salang fa ko radio because of it inspired me to be a DJ because of the way she would get so excited if now who's my dude? Come on, who's my dude? Come on, yeah.
I remember that one. Yeah.
I remember my sister. Wow. So now she used to go back for that song.
Yeah.
And then like I like that feeling that it gives to them.
Yeah.
And then I started listening to radio. They are much older than me. So I'd find I grew up alone most of the time, even though I've got siblings, but I also take myself as an only child because each gap year and the Bosbaka is quite vast.
Yeah.
So at the later stages of my life, like from like teenage years upwards. Even though she sadly left us in 2018.
Wow, man, condolences.
Hashtag to her.
Yeah.
Hashtag to her. Other than that,
man.
Lena umfakele mo radio because of what's ka Sunday banging Josie FM but Tshepo Junior
Oh yeah.
Bo mametse nthuthuzele chaka.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I think, yeah.
Bo patukara.
Oh, Patukara.
Bo
Before
Patukara.
he moved on, yeah.
Josie FM, Josie FM, then I call City FM.
Yeah.
Bo Twasa. After she like she waited to call City FM.
Yeah.
I want as much as I indulge in podcasts, I was indulging in radio. Bo Pala Pala FM, Bo Kieni, I used to listen to them. I can come Hokerata, Nikarata House those days. Ne?
Yeah.
Friday from this, I'd listen to radio every day. Ne? Marabana from Friday until Sunday. I'm listening to radio until maybe 2 o'clock in the morning because that's where you hear the hottest jams.
Oh yes, yeah.
Because I get no MP3, and also not digital music. So music wasn't readily accessible by just searching on Google.
True.
You had to wait for your favorite song.
Yeah.
So I'd wait throughout the whole night. Man, go to mamela bo pujo mujo.
Yeah.
Osamare.
Itla
fika. When they I know they little fika mare. As long as I wait, mare obviously in that duration now you're listening to different artists. Roger Good. Roger Good put me on. Roger Good inspired me to just be expressive. Like Kubula Skipa, mo studio. I remember 5FM was the first radio stations to start doing podcasting. Kubula Lewis at the Power of 5, Kabo 2007, 8.
Yeah.
The Fridays.
Yes, yeah.
Then Kubala camera, then Roger Good, then like Roger Good, the Friday night show, 7 o'clock, and then Saturday surgery.
Yeah.
The following.
They also did like a radio on TV as well.
Yeah, so that's how the radio part came into me from Kochari, even from Kochari. Lena kan mkholena the way niki indulge ka thing. Niki mamela kaofela. Kwezi FM, maybe morning sa fitli thing it's about batho ba kholo bo SFM, bo Radio 2000. Mara anything youthful or for the kasi.
Yeah.
Niki indulge. I remember when I started, I zanka khulisa time at my early stages. So even when I started becoming older, I discover who plumel time, the moment we panic mamela Cozy FM.
Yeah.
Kiki indulgeable because I can transport. I had my moment about Linda Speed, about Mr. Magic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that man was hot.
Hot. Then who can keta kwala.
Yo. But I think the journey at radio in South Africa has just been absolutely amazing for creators like us who grew up listening to these geniuses when they were at the top of their game, dog.
Yeah.
Because at the time, Nohosna podcasting, there wasn't as much variety.
Yeah.
So those guys nearly bone dinchata came at the time. So Fetcho was your man.
Fetcho was my man. Khaholo. Sorry about that. That is my ringtone.
Oh, okay.
I'm not gonna take it. I'm not gonna take it.
All right.
Like it's spanning lay.
More spanning.
Yeah. I take and Lena, I must apologize. Lena, as a fellow podcast, I take very much offense when people how can any phone calls or when they take phone calls during an interview.
Yeah.
So Lena vele I'm returning the favor and I apologize for I didn't put my phone on silent.
Yeah.
Mara, getting back to the question
No, I'm saying Fetcho was the guy for you.
Yeah, he was the guy because at that time even I'm been trying in different ways because I do everything that is broadcast. I've done it or I'm doing it. I do vlogging. I do audio. I've done audio. I do live stream. I started podcasting with live streaming, so I don't know this thing of scripts. That scripts nonsense. I don't believe in that thing.
You just flow.
I just flow.
Yeah.
Naturally.
Yeah.
I've done event coverage. Hey, my chance, Silana.
Yeah.
I've done all of those things. So broadcasting, Instagram was a broadcasting phenomenon.
Yeah.
I've done everything. So the Fair Joe show was the first show that encompasses everything from in regards to broadcasting, from a radio side to a visual side, same time funny.
skits.
quirky.
Yeah.
Gape celebrity interviews.
Yeah.
And even the way and even till this day, when he interviews guests, he's the only person that I know in South Africa. Oh, and was in America. Was American content. I'm not sure if it was but even American content. When people go there, like when people go to Trevor Noah, it's like, yeah, sure, Ntwana Fede as talk. But when the people go there, like Boma David Letterman or Boma Howard Stern or even Boma Oprah, can I believe I'm with Oprah? But and then they still answer the question.
Yeah.
So First Joe is the only person that I know in South Africa. Or maybe but he's the only person that I know who, when even other artists or celebrities go there, First Joe. So when he interviews them, it's very authentic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love that, and I still till this day I love it. Like from the get go, what's up, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah.
Like even when he hosts the awards,
Yeah.
Fella, I wanna shout outs to Pop Hops, the comedian.
Oh yeah.
Shout outs to him because he's the only person who's able to host the shows. The last time
That's the thing. That's so true. I think coming back to the point, Fecho, is that, you know, the fact that he's American, he's got an eccentric personality.
Yeah.
And he's got a funny bone, because he's not a comedian, but he's funny.
Yeah.
You know, because you also need whereas Hauchakam Pop-Ups, he's a comedian and then he's a broadcaster.
Yeah.
You know, so he's got the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
You know, so, and then Baba Mbana, they are very scripted. Plus, radio can also restrict you to a certain extent, especially if you look at stations like Bo 947, maybe SFM or Power. You're very scripted. So back announce pina, this is what's gonna happen. Allow for an advert. So it's very like pragmatic, you know. So yeah, man. So okay, so when you finished high school, where did you go?
I went straight into the job market, my brother.
Oh yeah?
I went straight in the job market. If I wanna story sena maybe motivate batho. Mara naka nako eli I wanna nako tse October November. Na ne ke le ko toropong ke vaisa di CV. Then I wasn't about that life. And and obviously not everybody is designated for that life. And I vowed. Then I was going to tell people even in interviews, I don't condone anybody starting businesses, because if you want to start this journey, you must understand how it's a buyer going. You cannot start a business and still whine about your life or a miserable job. When you start a business, you must understand your life. What's heck? It's about the bigger vision.
Yeah.
Other than that, I even felt, because I remember grade 9, I think maybe I go parking at Orlando West. I want to call it Mesh Park one day. Because that's where most of the ideas buy.
Naming after yourself.
Name it.
Yeah.
Parking. It was a Sunday afternoon, and I hope like a touched about scale. It's a scale thing. Because you fit grade 9, grade 11, and I was not feel like was get home. You fit because of I was mischievous. My mischievous back I wasn't like a banker scale. Getting scale like my shoes are clean. Like I was always clean because scale. But if you don't love something, you won't do anything to ensure you get better at it. So I remember
school wasn't your thing.
Scale wasn't my thing. And the thing is, because of society standards, you do things kankani. Smart. I remember grade 9, and I think it was my first grade 9. So I was on my second grade 9. And I remember getting touched. It's a school thing, man. It's in sort of offside. And then I made a promise to myself. I was going to, if it's a scalar, and then after that, what it's into And it was by that time I got my first job. I think that at that time it was my first job. I took it when I was 16. And like kabuma prior to the June holidays, winter holidays. Ke mang e thabela a ke go tsaba fetsa di-exams skela sa ba le tlogela le diploma ko gae wa bo na ke se na a bona
No sa dule
if I have a train ticket or a bus tag na ke Spanish to its full momentum
wa vaya
as well, and I don't mind the vacan, man. I don't have to get by my chance. I'm not about that life.
I always thought, sorry to cut you there, you know, how holela caucus, and I was exactly the same like you say, how holela caucus, I always found and I realized kasiako ka re ke hostel. I would see it like that. Kere so saying I must just get up and go. Kilwe ba busy la ko ntle instead of rula o hlala go khoneng ele o movela go khoneng ele o movela da le qala ka maka no le machita, and you're not really progressing as quickly as you should be.
And I give out into hearing and I keep into I'm trying to curb myself maretla fitla da getting back to that I wanna hanike karo hopola ke fologa ko lang nacht ka zula khupuka ke re boma High Street, I think ka ko ma boskela sa ka nko I wanna hanike Crosby ka re bala ma side man ma before me fair Grosvenor side Brixton kasi eo ne fa di ka stone na le mall nyana, and after that ke re walk ke down the mountain ke re Campus Square ke mangile da, and then after that ke re Melville ke ne di kasi
Vaka manyane
ke vaka lenyane
yes as one man
gunman ke go pola ke re ke a khopoka ke re Brixton plus nearly first time like I also love, and like I just love life. I gotta put it like that. So I remember I was on the same street as the Brixton Towers, the Centec Tower.
Oh yes. Yeah.
So I get the closer you get, you understand how huge it is. Or when especially like the because I get a sauna. So I wanna like the more class like it's beautiful architecture plus it's just solid cement all around. So it was the first time in my life so I was like excited about that. Now time over X5 a black wafit. And like it's not like I'm doing this. It's not like I'm on that vibe.
Yeah.
That time like what's on fun?
Angbiza. Yeah.
Kamat. Ya opi. Kere ke go stationing. What's that? Na ke pap. Ke ikenela. Ke X5.
Yeah. Why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
Ke vale my time. Ntate Dlamini. I love him. Whoever he is, ngiyakuthanda baba.
What?
So hakiva sona wangiputsa man. Ubuya kwenzani ke ngifuna isipani man. Unangaki ngithi ayi ngina 16. So asampea la ko stationing are king kukichove number tsa a re hlangana nami eKandi Square ngo 9 o'clock ekuseni kusasa. Yabo zanka ke roki sharp. The following morning Karo yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
Plus na khali nganya go grip.
Jewish.
Yeah, khali nganya grip.
Yeah.
So and I want to share Jewish come training is very weird.
Yeah.
I want to pose Karo the hard-working South Africans. Karo every politician real talk tamele ba va ka Karo or public transport Karo is South Africa because Karo has different coaches. Khona le Karo ya Mazangoma, Karo ya Apostol, Karo ya Mazayon, khona le coach ya Bombemi, ya Dimbombi, khona le coach ya Shembe.
Yes.
It's the South Africa is more Karo.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
used to be.
Yeah. Mara ke bona ke ba lukisa on my side.
Oh, ba lukisa ka.
Yeah. Ka sa ka phela ke re
oh ba tsala ka lona pe
yeah
ba sotle ko lining
le vumathele qadile ko kasi yaka
oh is it
yeah hashtag just say
kasi di legend
mara as ikisho sala ka re ya Karo meet after state se ke fihlile ka mo ko toropong
yeah
how Tate Dlamini o shapa ka restaurant ko Kandi Square ko khoneng gona nong ke shipanyana bo madi livestock exchange what
yeah.
Ikudima McDonald's ko khoneng
oh yeah
that was the restaurant only restaurant da ba paisa local cuisine
oh okay
So because of I was venturing into to do hospitality studies ko grade 10.
Yeah.
Bangfaka ra. Ke ne ke le ko kitchening, tuna span sa ko kitchen.
Okay, let's ban.
Okay, let's span.
Ah.
That guy was the first person who got 1,000 rand ka letsoho la ka in my life. On a random Friday evening, it was my first Friday evening. It was a chill vibe. This is like the Fridays till this day. Friday afternoons, chill vibe. What a Friday afternoon?
Yeah.
I want a Friday afternoon, nice sunset, good booze.
Yeah.
Ke bontshe le time le. First time ke bona Johnny Walker Gold Label le ke bone ka yena plume fatshe le matime mo wa bo my ANC. Wo zala mfana. Hayi. Ngizoba nemali eningi. After it one time, nanka my first check up on a for the week. I qadile I think on a Tuesday. Ang taas din. Hey, kalo pa airtime at 29 rand ta Vodacom. Still this day. Ntse ke buy airtime. I ke motho wa data.
Yeah.
I always have airtime on me just for ke pele batho. Because I've always been that person who always opelelang batho. Go tlo re gotsagalang o grand, but Ntate Dlamini ke ena who put me on just in gore ke tshepe on the journey. So getting back to that question ya scale. After high school, during October, November, salaka ne ke batla span. Ha ke batla span sona, gopola ke le ko Cresta. O Cresta ne ke le ko at home. Ka bona ba re ba batla batho for the December period. I put in my application. Na ne ke le busy ka di-application ka bo ma 11 o'clock bosigo. Ke interacta le batho ba at home. Ne ke ngwala my last paper was on a Thursday, hospitality studies. Friday was my first day at work, go at home. I started working there at home for the December period. Nona le batho ba itre fela. I was the only person who stayed. Ka ba permanent, and then I worked there for like a year and a half. And I started my first business.
Damn, bro.
Yeah.
So how's the journey been for you in the last 5 years? Plus, let's go COVID thing. Did it affect you badly, like COVID and just that interruption?
You know the funny thing about that story, so
Yeah.
I think after the story ko lo 69.
Okay, sure.
Mara, the funny thing is initially when it began, somebody else not like ing by the seats because I care what's about in the entrepreneurial journey. You pop on 6 months, 12 months, or I think push. And then if I examine uzathola isipane nyana ukuthi uhlanganisa amasente yabona, so that ubuy izinto ezifuneka like equipment, product nyana tshitse batlegang yabo. But other than that, I was in that situation now. So like I told Spine go urban backpackers go Tropong. How feel Candy Square. The irony is I was there yesterday. I was doing my first stand-up show.
What?
That was the same place.
No ways, bro.
No ways, I know. And
Shit. Yeah.
And so that I was working there for a good 3 months. And I went there, ke batla tuna, plus I was gonna earn 4,000 a month. And then but there's this COVID thing is pulling up. So obviously let's take a break from Eli for like 3 weeks. Right, sharp. But I was supposed to get my first 4,000, then bang 2,000. And the 2,000 I could next because of I had to buy supplies for that 3 weeks of so relax from the world.
Yeah.
Only to discover it took longer than 3 weeks.
Hey.
Wow.
It shocked us.
It shocked us.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, a week before, it was the first time I performed with the bookshop of Vilagazi Street.
A week before the lockdowns?
Yeah, a week before the lockdown.
Oh. Yeah. All right, man. Let's take a break because you need to
do them things.
And then Ritaboa, let's do this thing. Boom. All right, man, we are back. All right, so still chatting to my boy right here, man, just taking me through his journey. Remo Orlando, Kamo Hector Peterson Memorial. My guy, so you and I were chatting, you were telling me a whole lot about, your journey up until today, your performance, go the box shop. So how did you pull out the box shop also? I mean, it just became a new development because I remember Vilagazi Street, Kadile Kosakumzi, where the restaurant that Kadile slowly but surely, and then came the top side, Kada. So box shop came about, which was an interesting concept as well for particularly young people. Is it still popping, Karaso?
I've got a team, and I want to shout out to Big Mike.
Yeah.
Because of me and my team, since I started, it ain't the same anymore.
Oh, really?
Go Upper Villagas. It ain't the same because we were running the fourth Dago Box Shop.
Yeah.
And I also want to say shout out to Braben, Prasfiso. They are the founders of the Box Shop.
Okay.
So, Yaka Kichosona, based on ditaba tsa go kasi.
Yeah.
Ditaba tsa go kasi, in short, gore pleke le kwa le khona no.
No way, dog.
Yazi indaba zabantu abadala man, yazi abantu abadala if they cannot come to a conclusion.
Yeah.
Akire bare when elephants fight,
The grass suffers.
the grass suffers.
Eish.
So the grass is the children of Orlando West,
Eish.
if not Soweto, because Bookshop is the only reliable creative space for in Soweto. That's the maybe the focus of like new one or snaining, you need to pay absorbent fees.
Oh yeah.
Like Jawulani theaters for creatives, mare. Not every single creative works. I wonder if it was accessible. People will even walk to Jawulani theater if they know how it's accessible. But if they know how either only T's and C's, people about because I think we're not technologically advanced.
Yeah.
This is why we are not access to things. This is why abantwana abasebenzi. They are abasebenzi because we are not technically advanced. Umntwana ga Wi-Fi hotspot ayo Google-isha bona nakunale Wi-Fi ne, but Wi-Fi yakakisebenzisa just for social media. Mara like I'm checking out a lot of things. I know I'm gonna be go SA Fashion Week next year only because of I'm doing every month. But amongst other things, the bookshop, it was the only Yagakir is the only place that had a solution for the young creative in a young black creative that either is a South African or just wants to push passions in a nutshell. It doesn't have to be a South African maranje. If you're a young person or you came sitting and over to push creativity and want to express it, was keen to at the bookshop is horror. You could express yourself in different formats because there was different departments. I was the station manager at the bookshop online radio.
Oh yeah.
And then gape le a department ya diaparo.
Oh yeah.
Gona le a kitchen, bookshop kitchen. Gona le an eventing space. So le mo as much as the podcast, but gape ne the events at the space. So we did different type of events. Anything. I remember making even an estimation. Last year we did more than 500 events.
What?
Between Nali Big Mike, specifically speaking.
But you guys used to do these big hip hop shows also.
Yeah, the
fashion shows.
Fashion shows. I did my own fashion. Like there's event is this day.
Yeah.
Go to the bookshop, or when I did my own fashion shows.
Yeah.
And then and because of that platform, I've always created my own voice for the youth. Mara, I can get before COVID, all young people who understand this, especially my Gen Z, they know how they want to go to Maboneng, to Braamfontein, to Newtown, to Melville. Those are the 4 main hotspots go Johannesburg for creativity or for hippie culture.
Yeah,
if you will.
No, you're right, eh?
So yeah. COVID made me plus at least getting back to the question in COVID, the one. COVID is a language and I can understand what's happening with us.
Yeah, no going back to the drawing board.
Yeah. And you know, haki kopana le brother Mike is that because I only had a radio show prior to Bookshop Online Radio. Okay. So I got a still station manager. I had to be in charge of shows. So I created a show for investments, financial literacy. There was a show for the yoga vibes. There's a show for coffee, like having conversations around coffee, the different strains of coffee.
Yeah.
There's a show for I just created we just created different shows and having different conversations.
Yeah.
And even getting different guests. Lee Jerome Mufike, we had him on the Bookshop Online Radio.
Yeah.
So ke rata the element ya gore we just had a platform whereby we just express ourselves in different elements in one area, like in like a Google. I get Google complex, Facebook complex is designed for creativity or to enhance creativity.
True.
So le bookshop ne make a jwalo because tell maybe ne ratsa go studio re shape ke creative block or maybe go to fihla somebody batho ba ithuba itre re sa ba tsebeng a bona ne re tla maybe we just go smoke a joint nyana then re bana le session nyana maybe re kopana le batho bang who been hanging out at the balcony share some dope ideas then as re khutla ko mo studio se go toma se go bua ntwe tsamayang wa bona se re tsebe gore ka osane re tsang or next week re tsayeng a bo and that's what's solely missed gape da ko the higher king upper Vilakazi because I get ko lower Vilakazi it's more tourism focused.
Yes.
Even most people haba fihla ko lower to Vilakazi qondo wa teng ke tourism, let's eat African cuisine. Upper Vilakazi had that creativity side ka rona at the same time le di establishment tsa ka da di na le a more higher LSM of people who are supposed to come like body 1947.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so it had a different blend, mara we were just adding a different spice to what people know Vilakazi Street as.
True. I remember I was once invited to come and speak go the box shop.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing it, Kere. Wow, man, what an interesting concept. Because I'm a creative, I'm easily able to spot the creative haven, Kore Marihiso. And also I realized, Dore, like you said, Dore, my Gen Z, the creatives, Kore, they don't have a lot of spaces where they can feel, Kore, they can express themselves. Either than those spaces to work out on, Maboneng, maybe Melville, and so on. So now you starting to work as a station manager, how different was it for you from running a radio show?
Yeah.
Thinking about just your guests. Now all of a sudden, you have to think about other people, their shows. You got to listen to their shows. You got to be able to correct them, guide them, mentor them.
What's the thing that's been hard? I can't talk about going from your own stuff into other stuff, other people's stuff.
Yeah.
And until this day, the thing that's been hard is now I know a lot of people are gonna know me, and I'm destined for people to know me.
Yeah.
The only reason is because of since I was a boy, since I was 13, 14, I always tell people I want to be famous.
Yeah.
I don't care how, but I'll be famous.
Yeah.
I want to be Michael Jackson famous. Like people faint. Who wanna the ambulance? Yeah. Like I wanna be that type of famous, paparazzi famous.
Yeah.
That type of vibe because it does. What I've realized is that it does something to people. Like it's like go YouTube what I wanna that 10-year period, maybe from 2008 until 2019-20.
Yeah.
La Liga.
Oh yeah.
Messi versus Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
How look review of both stadiums. I get a Real Madrid sorry Santiago Bernabeu.
Yeah.
And then Barcelona is already the Nou Camp.
Yeah.
So maybe Messi got to score. Messi.
Yeah.
And then over Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano. And I'm like, imagine how late that person only won. And then people are saying your name like that. Happy there's another 2 million or 10 million that is watching you on TV.
Yeah.
And imagine being able to do that for people. That's people cannot achieve a lot of things in life. Honestly speaking, everybody knows life is more than just we are schooling and going to and getting a good job. Life is a lot of things. Abantu bayashona, you need to take risks. Some people are lawyer, all of those things. Everybody knows that. So most people know they're not going to achieve everything that they want to achieve. So this gives, especially black men, we are low self-esteem. So this is one of the few things that gives, let me put it like this. The people who go to the ballot boxes and vote every 5 years, and those people when the team wins, it achievement, and not in a bad sense, but more in a sense of like feeling as a human being, to feel like being part of a community, a winning community. When we sing together, when we lose together, when we eat together, when we drink together, that's what this kid does. So getting back to who are famous, that's what I love about being the possibility or the power of being famous. Besides the negativity of it, the power of it, or people can just come together just for you, get excited, but just a family like the possibility.
No, so I was asking you the difference between running your own show and leading people.
Yeah. So what the difference is initially wasn't turning Susan is human management.
Okay.
Yeah. Initially the turning Susan because I'm young but I'm old.
Okay.
Like I remember being 1994. 10 years ago, it was like when people say it was it makes sense. And even 1994 wasn't a long time ago. You can still remember 1994 in the back of your memory. But 1994 actually is like 28 years ago now. That's like a whole generation. I'm old enough for never I'm at the age of having umtwana.
Yeah.
So like working like people who are older than me, and it was the first time being in a management position. Because I've had jobs before, but I was always an employee.
Yeah.
I always and I always had a leadership capability. Mara was as we are not raised to be managers in a sense of understanding your purpose or your role. So even besides as me, Diboy Mashesha, let's just say I wasn't destined to be a leader. Mara even Kasi doesn't teach me how to be a leader. Hey, out here in the zone. I remember Lena Kinadin to Kasi aka in 2 days ago. Ntwe ya maruku a tsamala mo halfway line.
Yeah.
Ha ona ntwana ke tseng masepanyana jwa ke le shaka dimpama if you get tse jwalo. The Kokas, you're not raised into your like you need to be a leader, you need to be a manager. So now initially next into your how am I gonna manage older people than me? Are they gonna take me seriously? And whatever I say is relevant.
How did you learn the responsibility?
One because of I research a lot.
Okay.
I research a lot in terms of whatever I do, specifically more podcasting game. Number 2, mentorship. Because the workshop also helps you with attaining that. A lot of mentorship in different mediums. Mentorship for sound engineering, mentorship for photography, mentorship for modeling, mentorship for doing events. So seeing my mentors operating, how do they manage people? How do they manage expectations? How do they manage time? How do they manage all of those fine even how you work research. I look up to what David Stern, what Armin van Buren.
Oh, David Stern. Oh,
yeah. When I like, I check them out a lot. So, Hanik researchers so man. I tuning Kazangeda was for the element of just distract.
Yeah, already time is one of the guys, buddy. ke Peggy lebitso la hae.
Oh.
O na le di-classic cars.
Oh.
So him and I got classic club in A1.
Oh.
So I think he just recognized Francis. So he's probably gonna say one or two things.
Oh.
Okay, let's take a quick break and then
Okay.
let's continue the conversation.
Honest
Is that
stress,
cool?
honest stress.
Ke mo groete fela.
Okay.
You know, it's podcasting, but you know, these
Hey,
things
man.
happen. These things
Hey,
happen.
man.
dog. We are back this time around, man. Hopefully no interruptions this time around, man.
Yeah.
Come on, let's do this thing.
Come on.
Mel, we were still talking about, you know, your journey,
Transition.
podcasting, transitioning,
Yeah.
and the box shop, and everything that goes there, your passion around radio and radio production and podcasting and stuff. So you're still telling me, Jorge, how difficult it was for you to transition from being a presenter to being somebody who now has to lead others.
Yeah. Imposter syndrome.
So did it make you change? Was it a change now from producing your own stuff to now obviously just focusing on
Yeah.
making sure the show and over advise
Yeah.
over child or no, you're not doing the right thing here and so on. Was it difficult?
Yeah, it was difficult but easy. It was easy because of I love it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was easy because I love it, and so even if like hypothetically, I've got a show ditlhare. Now myself, automatically I'll go back home myself. Ke sa berekisane le the host. Mara now I'll go to back home myself and do my own research. Or what are the relevant platforms or relevant podcasts that already exist that are already pushing that type of content? How do I present it? Even something as simple as reels thing ngaba present jwang, yung story thing e presenta jwang, the clips tsa thing, the showing shoot tsa thing, all of those type of things. How do I also present them? And then happy, something I also believe in is a system. So once you create a system for running things, so for example, like Tom, we started from scratch, so we needed to get a new stand, new camera, Wi-Fi capabilities. So one of the basics. So we started from scratch, and then the next thing we got to a point of creating a system of how to podcast with the equipment. So once you get the system right, now it's easily interchangeable.
Yeah.
So now you can say, okay, with this system we can create a product A, and then from this system we can create a product B, we can create a product C. Mara ke mo nkaba C1, C2, C3 out of that system A. And then also faka and then le also faka team we rutisa according to the system. Oba rutisi, and then this why ke ra ho qasha batho o qashe motho nje hoping gore wa iqaba ntho eo mfaka mo systeming eo gore le nna ska kenya mathateng gore ska senya equipment ya wa bona mkenya mo systeming eo. So that's what I perfected, and that's what ke interesting to sang in the beginning stages, and more killing thing. I believe in just there's no framework that people can work with, and then that's what even the big podcasters are doing. As long you've got 3 cameras, one wide shot, one for each presenter and the interview, then layout design, then you've got a podcast.
But you know, interestingly, I was looking at one of the podcasts, they were talking about the cost of production of a podcast. So one guy was saying, each podcast, each show can cost him anything between $500 and $1,000. Or the cost of a show can cost about 3,000 rand. Because then you have to pay the camera people, the editor, you know. So Lona, how did it work in terms of everyone on Aspanada and they volunteer, and therefore they did all the stuff for free, or like
yeah,
how did it go?
nearly volunteer. That's why let's hash ka taba box shop. Le batho ko box shop ba ko Land West ba ngcaba le bona. Mantswe ka wa buang khona no ba itse gore what happened ka pleke le kwala bona. Via ne le mone ne re lo kelezang teng. So vele ne re lo volunteera, and then re lo and obviously re lo iketsa an opportunity
Le ithute.
re lo ithuta ra
Yeah.
wa bona. So vele re qadile re sana di-salary,
Yeah.
and hence ke re nje the aim was just to perfect the system.
Yeah.
And vele di-running cost tsa teng da tura, and ke gopola ke shebela di-interview ya McG a le ko ride showng ya DJ Sbu Visual Mkhukhu le ta Penwell. And na jwetsa le the community ya ko Visual Mkhukhu gore ma chance till this day the running costs, they're very expensive, because if you want a podcast that you see on your cell phone day in and day out, obviously it's gonna cost at least 2,000 upwards minimum. Or if you batla that type of quality, like if you batla HD quality, if you batla the edit way the cutting of scenes, you need to,
Quality ya sound.
you need to pay up. You need to pay up. Oh, it's a given. Yeah.
Your upfront costs are quite heavy for
Are
the
quite
equipment plus your daily running.
And happy the thing about podcasting that I've done broadcasting. I can do radio and podcasting, and I know the difference between radio and podcasting.
Yeah.
And then two that is not emphasized more but papa by some podcasting is that as much as podcasting is not radio, but podcasting is like a consistency radio. If you're saying you're dropping every day, or if you're saying you're dropping if you're saying every Wednesday I'm dropping, you need to drop every Wednesday. And I remember it's selling me wa ka sala tlhokofala on a Saturday on the 2nd of June. Come Monday, I had a show, I had guests. I didn't say no, Mama Mushonile, I can't come. I went to the show. Come Monday, I think, and only because I'm a professional. I needed to my audience doesn't care about Mama Mushonile. My audience needs to hear me or to see me. So taba eo ya consistency eo e botlhokwa. Mara a podcasting, man, nowadays, hence I consume any type of podcast. So podcasting, it doesn't have to be expensive. Podcasting now has gotten to a point where longer sharper clip now 1 minute, 2 minutes. That's already a podcast. So if you push that thing every day, on the clip a minute, 2 minutes we post, it's now a podcast. Actually, you just spazzing on the people. But now people are listening to you, because that's what podcasting is. You either watching or you're listening somebody, how they feel, and then you engage from it. And then build a community out of it, and then se le tla bona le tsa jwang, se le ke tsa chillers market, setse le so or so it's a membership platform whereby people can contribute, and then now you can start paying your staff or getting better equipment. Yeah.
So where does the future for you look like in the podcasting world or radio or entertainment as a creative director? Where do you see yourself in the next few years? I know you want to be famous.
Yeah. And wait, see, for now myself, and I've always how do I got wishful thinking? As much as I'm a podcaster and I'm a stone cold a podcaster, I've always said I have to do radio.
Yeah.
Once or one just to like, yeah, I've done it all. Like namasima nyashisa ntwana nyeke ningitshele. I can do a show without swearing, I can do a show with swearing.
Okay.
Mwabo?
Yeah.
With a script or without a script. And Pella, for South Africa to listen to you, that's an honor. And that's why I get so pissed sometimes when I'm listening to radio. Mara, getting back to the question, as where do I see myself? There's one of my platform of Fashion Major World. Right now, as we speak, we are taking a different trajectory. We are very focused on short form content. Okay. On a music side, on a podcasting side, and even visual content side in general. So we're looking towards working with younger and smaller productions. From the YouTubers, we want to work more with YouTubers. We want to work with other podcasters more regularly, repost their content. So where I see myself in the next couple of years is that we are going to be one of the biggest distributors of content in South Africa and in Africa.
Wow, man.
Yeah, we are going to be the biggest distributors of content in Africa, because once I have Africa, I have the world.
Yeah.
We are the content that's in the middle of the world, because in the back of planet Earth there is just the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
So we are the only continent is in the middle of the world. Also, we are about, as long as we are Ethiopia, everybody's looking at us in terms of Amapiano. We've got Nelson Mandela. They have him or hate him, but this gentleman is as famous as Jesus. Right?
Yeah.
Or when Trevor Noah, I'm pissed for he's leaving the Daily Show. Mara, people love us as South Africa. So anything that we churn out here, especially if it's authentic but with quality,
Yeah.
like Americans want it, it's always gonna pop. So Rona Araba, my brother, in terms of distribution of content, it's very hard for Batswara because of most companies right now. They're still looking towards dumb ways of making money out of content, or old ways of making money out of content. But SABC Pella has content. People love nostalgia as we speak.
Yeah.
I remember telling people 3 years ago, 4 years ago on my vlogs, Kere, Mashens, keepers Zipola, they're gonna trend. Now it's starting to trend nowadays, and it's gonna make a lot of money. Keepers of Manchester United in 1999 but win a Champions League is gonna trend. Now it's big, that thing. These keepers of Bafana tsa Philemon Masinga kana kwa score that goal in 1998 World Cup. Those keepers they're gonna be very expensive. As a the first time when Pirates winner the championships ka 2011 kana kuri winner Premier League twice latela kana go sa tsona dlala Benny McCarthy. Yes. We used to be those kids.
Yeah, man. In the past, going somewhere. Oh, man.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, I get it, bro. Jorge, people do like nostalgia, and you're quite right. Or a lot of things do go back. You know, people like going back into time. You know, they revive old stuff. We doing it, Karikoloi, that guy who came to speak to me. You know, same thing. You know, guys are going back. Younger guys are like, no, man, I want old school cars. You know, like, all right. So, just in terms of your encouragement to a lot of young cats. I mean, I was driving here Mokasi and I realized, you know, they are like either worried or stressed out or like onyaope or they're drinking, you know. Hi, man.
Like I wanna even my future plans in life. This next coming months, I'm gonna be doing more of these type of things. Since
Yeah.
my young blood, I'm in the process of the Uncle Tom's Hall, our community hall. I wanna be in charge of it. I wanna get some more. And like, what is relatable? Like, the movie. Obviously, like I want to be takings. I want because of it's going to infringe on copyright. I want, but ke also from Costa-Rica or the kids want communal things. I want so if we leave them, they're all gonna be doing a lot of things, Mr. Thing. But if you say let's become a community, they'll say if you say come, they're gonna follow you. If you tell them let's go do painting, they're gonna follow you. But if you just say I'm going to go dlala, makala ngwana o se le go pruthi, I was even fitlile jang go pruthi.
True.
But yeah, getting back to your question, in terms of words of encouragement for my young blood, it's about one of the reasons. There are two reasons. One reason why these the kids bago starting about they're not doing step-by. I get the baby boomer generation.
Yeah.
From I get baby boomers from 1950 upwards, and from 1945 until 1965, the baby boomer generation.
Yeah.
Straight after World War II, they used to be the biggest population or generation in history.
True.
And then we went to the millennials from 1985 until 1996. The millennial generation. We were the second biggest population in history. Now the Gen Z are the biggest population in history. I think Rona re tsa ganyana from the Gen Z. So if nka ba bona crane, bana ba thole re ba ha ba le go scheming. When you're growing up, scheme sa ne le sa fitli 10. Ndona tse yona no ha ba go scheme ba i10 or ba i20 mo scheming say one. Ha ba ba sha around ba o my 10 ba le 20. So one ba baya. So not every it's like taba ya mtlakase gona no. The only reason mtlakase wa rona one of the reasons re na le linking ka taba tsa mtlakase is that the census knows or maybe raise 60 million, but actually the population of about 18 million as we speak, also including the foreign nationals. So capacity and access. So one, my young dad, bye. So there's not enough access to that's one. But number two, my young blood in terms of words of encouragement, hey my chance, culture. Because now myself speaking, I remember I get kids as well, and I started smoking weed at a young age, and I already encourage my young brother to be zolo. Mara now the perks of it is a honey couple of fats. Every time when I smoke weed, get you fats, get one fats. I want and get one fats whatever I'm thinking about. And so Marna creates a culture. So create your own culture, and the culture is sustainable for yourself and progressive for yourself. I started reading because I can't scale a Mara. I started reading Kili one from like 10 years old. Until this day, I'm an avid reader. I don't like reading, but I divulge a lot of stuff, audio content or visual content.
Sure.
Yeah, man. We in the hood.
Man.
Don't forget, we in the hood. Free Ride Podcast.
Anything happens
right here, bro.
People just want to come
right
and
here.
greet. Yeah, man. So you're saying find your space, find yourself, do something.
Yeah, and I find
and
I reach you to grand my chance. Like I reach you like for example, over my chance, I realize my chance start becoming creators at a younger age. Or they start doing things that they want to do at a younger age. Like for example, Ndona it's kena go dlalela club ana le 12, 13 years old. Ba no dlalela di club go di ground wa bo at a young age. Ba tla go di safa banale at a young age. As much as le go ba bom rapper ke re sona di laptop. Ndona se tlo ba bo di trapper from like 16 years old.
Yeah.
I realize ladies don't start becoming creatives at a young age. And till this day I do events. I do a lot of events. Mara if motho ka mpotsa go like okay, if what it's an event ya bochire fela. Ya my young blood. What do they want? I don't know. Because I'll be lying if I say gore phela would be lying as really much chance gore I faka makeup stand fela da. Because even later about something as simple as music selection, just because of or what faka mapiano, do you think they wanna go batla mapiano? And what type of mapiano do they want, the ladies? Are you listening to Doja Cat? Because that's what ladies are listening to. Mama Labo Doja Cat, Mama Labo, Megan Thee Stallion. We don't even or one of the basics here not so what in culture in terms of creativity that needs to be enhanced, because we cannot just say it's makeup fail, and we cannot assume that Michelin Damase is the only person that they look up to. And as much as Bonang is not as influential as she used to be. So the culture it's small, how do we encourage that? I want to let my young brother go to museum. I remember Salaka Museum Africa back in the days, ka Riavaya. That's my own culture. Neke Riavaya ka sebedisa bra. Ke like ka ko Brazil ke ko Cresta ke discovery le ka Riavaya.
What?
Maboneng ke discovery le ka Riavaya ka Bastek ya fitlisa ko Maboneng. Bastek ya o fitlisa ko Emerencha Dam. Bastek ya o fitlisa ko Newtown Junction. Bastek ya o fitlisa ko Florida side. Bastek ya o fitlisa ko dindawo ko China Mall ya o fitlisa da. So bo Museum Africa, I discovered that ke vagili one Museum Africa is free go kena ka ra. Okay, except it's I understand ke 40 rand, or if not the prices have gone up because of the COVID or tourism unnecessarily. But and that's not even a good idea, man. Go batla price the locals, man. the locals
Tourist
are
prices, yeah.
locals are not supposed to pay the prices tsa di-tourist one. But maybe because ke yone tla encouraging for le gona because le Carlton Center ke iketse da ke le one. Nobody said, hey, Carlton Center is accessible to everybody. And those days only 15 rand go kena go Carlton Center. Now I think it's a bit like more expensive. I think it must have about 50 rand nowadays.
Yeah, oh yeah, got him, got the highest point.
The highest point to share NJ. And I learned something very, very important.
Yeah.
You cannot see Soweto. As much as there's the highest point in Africa.
Yeah. But it's an amazing place to see the origins of areas or north, west, south, east. Lore, how everything was put together. Yeah.
And then like discover Soweto, you cannot see it.
No, you can't.
As much and I hate it when people lambast Soweto and say Soweto amasimba, Soweto bangayibhoma khona manje izowela ngaphansi. I hate it when people say those things because of like these past 2 weeks I've been having this epiphany of Soweto is one of the most, as much as New York City, they're well advanced. Like Soweto, the way was like small businesses are everywhere in Soweto. Like someone ka koloi nje ke di-exhibits ke bo madikota, locksmith, khona le electrician, the artifacts, like khona le juice, but ba iketsang di 100% juice. How tsamaya ka tsela di wedding what so na di ice cream shops ko Soweto ha ntse o tsamaya ka tsela ATMs are easily accessible ko strateng sa ko Vilakazi Street.
Car
dealerships, panel beaters, they just in and around. So the way it is and was if in Sentin, yes, it's posh and all of that, but you need a car to access a lot of things. You cannot access an ATM kamang too.
But Soweto is a little kasi kisaba.
So
for people by lower, they come to Soweto for the very first time. But
and the funny thing about it is Soweto is safer at night than town.
Yeah.
Sometimes even when you see these videos on Facebook, the way but what in the suburbs, umakala like imagine spanning, you're driving or like you're driving in your driveway. O tswa ko macro o go lontsha dithoto tsa o le nkolo ya kena nje mo driving ya go o mongwe le mongwe tshwere sethunya sa gagwe
ba tshwarang
cons. You've seen those videos that they say
it's heavy.
You'll never, those things don't happen in Soweto as much as what I know it's the township and all of that.
You know, like there's a story me growing up le Mashesha. We're still young, dog. Like Mashesha, we started stealing. But now I was like always like, I don't like this thing, you know. And I remember Mashesha got worse. And then Bakala Baitadi Haze Prague. And I'm talking late 80s, early 90s. And I remember I would always ask them, Kere, why literally lo tshwarabo tagging konzo? Bautoko my extension one, go Thompsonville, Haze Prague. And then they realized, no man. So now I backed out, I stopped for Mashesha, but they continued. Needless to say, some of them are dead, some of them are in prison. But, you know, I remember how they started, they were part of the first generation, they were part of the first generation, and needless to say, I mean, that life it doesn't take you anywhere, you know.
And on a morality standpoint.
And now the niggas, some of them are dead. I mean, my cousin was one of them. I always tell the story. You know, crime doesn't pay. I can tell you 4 or 5 guys that I know of personally who continued, and me and my other friend, we said no, crime. No, we were playing, but you know, it's not our thing. So Narco stopper, it's better or Rilo Panda. Kau Spana rather than Rilo Torankonzi and all of that. And Machita now, they are not here to like they did not even live past 35.
Ooh.
Not even 34, dog.
Oh.
And
when you die like a dog.
And you die like a dog,
Yo.
man. Like, my one cousin, the nigga was paralyzed from the neck down.
Yo.
When he died, Narofa Botaki, apparently from, the Ringas Kokasi, le family bare, Utsweditse Botaki, Bamu lawyer, and just his journey towards the end, it was painful. I've never seen anybody die like that, dog. Like, Osafarile, that nigga, dog. Like, for almost 3 months, Asa Khonu move his neck. Aitotela, ikakela, rumana luko yone. It smelled for months after his death, dog. Like, you could smell death in his room, dog. And Havare Bamshaile Kalkemi, I could believe it because I was like, the way this man died, Barile Otlo Safara for the pains that he put these people through. Machitaba Manemakena the roof. Like, I mean, I think one day I'll do a show on Makinsa and all these guys and how they do it. It's a different lifestyle altogether, So, but yeah, man. So I think I'm happy that I've spoke to you, dog. And I always love to hear the stories. In the midst of all the challenges, guys want to keep a clean lifestyle. In the midst of all the problems, we grow up with kokas.
Yeah.
But you choose to go the right path to say, now I'm a creative, now I'm an entrepreneur, now I love doing this. And I get to focus on it. I never get to telling, so I really am proud of your story and your journey, man. And thanks for sharing it, dog.
Most definitely, brother. I'm excited. I'm excited for this country. And I also just mentioned that quickly, because this is so funny. When I fit the Buddhist on, I get it nowadays. Everybody likes to call themselves a goat.
Yeah.
So I like to post these the Buddhist saying here, like, I'm around the legends.
Yeah.
And
this was before GOAT was now called greatest of all time.
Yeah.
From as young as we were 12, 13, and now it's a big thing.
And as a Sowetan, you experience this thing every day. Why people can experience this, or people in affluent backgrounds cannot experience this. And I feel like you need to experience this. Like, there's a problem that's happening in Kabatswedi, and I'm sure you don't understand as Mtswadi. As where, like, my Mewaka was born in the 50s, and she wanted the best for Bana ba gagwe. But I don't know, the things that my Gen Z, batswadi ba bona kaofela, they want the good things for their children. But the funny thing is that those children don't want to be the best, don't want the best for themselves. Those children still want that authentic life. They want this is why they make such dumb mistakes. It's because of abagozuki yaka dwe rona or lona dwe salela gozuka kante. Like sineng vele tlamele shapiwe, sineng tlamele go through the tests and tribulations, sineng tlamele like sineng tlamele paisisege. And the only reason why lona le batho ba bagolo you guys are responsible for your lives is because of salela gozuka. So sineng le tla foster like dithaka tsa ke am jiving le bona re ke tse event for dithaka tsa because go di eventing go tletse people in the 40s 50s, okay, some in the 60s, mara gona le banna le basadi ba in the 40s 50s ba sile bana le bogogo go jare. So as much as Ncusi se etse na le di-Wi-Fi, na le phone ntswembo, na le laptop, na le dijo go fridge, gape na le dijo tse phegilweng, gape go na le phegwa dijo tse di ka osane phela nowadays bana se ba jwetsa gore a ga je dijo tse tswang ko microwave o tse ko fridge. Those kids, like, they say wild, and they're only wild because of abagozuki. Abagozuki. But getting back to the about who about South Africa, well, it's as much as people like to lambast our country or lambast Soweto or lambast our situation. Well, as much as I always see as long as kibona ko highway, kibona the big rigs, kibona commercial trucks, kibona during COVID. Ke mo neng ka tshoga like in South Africa because of strata se or area ena wasn't this busy. No sana di pass. Abona ka sa ka kintwe ke nganyang ka sa ka like now was ke ne ke lebogela le modimo gore ke goletse mo kasina because of ka go na re a vaya ka ile ka go na le station polling station Pefeni station ka as go tsa bo Vumatel ba tsalileng ka so ka se aka nje and I get inspired ka gore rona re gotse di Wi-Fi hotspot go ka se aka like go mo plekeng e one nka shaka Wi-Fi hotspots e 2 tse 3 we don't just have go na le hotspot maybe a Standard Bank no what these TikToks ba tlo kena ka ikokase go na le tse ding tsa City of Johannesburg di Wi-Fi hotspot. That's how I bo podcasting ne ke go di Wi-Fi hotspot tsa City of Johannesburg ke palame re a vaya ke lo dula ko bus station for like 3 hours ke mamele ke shebetse bo David Letterman ke shebele bo Howard Stern and I'd watch all the different ways that interview people. So ntene e nganya about our country ne we are the chosen ones. As much as America, they have manifest destiny. They manifested their destiny from their forefathers, from George Washington, James Madison, Alexander Hamilton. They manifested their destiny, which way they are. Lorona, we are the chosen ones. This is why, as much as America influenced us in the early 90s, as much as the every single country, the Chinese are trying to influence us, but we are the chosen one. We are the only country that hasn't went through a proper civil war, and people don't understand what war, how dangerous war is. I wanna never I love history, so I understand the importance of Vladimir Putin in history, ne? And I've always understood the side of Vladimir Putin, but I wanna because of war doesn't have a trajectory. When people start dying, things get fucked up, Antona. Like, there's no boys. George W. Bush, when he said, we are going to Iraq, he never understood horror till this day. Or we're going to Afghanistan. He never understood horror till this day. Things are still gonna be in disarray. So for the mere fact horror, and that's why I hate when people lambast even President Nelson Mandela. Like, Matala was in his 70s. Imagine when I was he never got the opportunity to say goodbye, my son or daughter. Se la tlhokofala ka mo utlwa gore mosadi wa was in prison kae ko Bloemfontein in solitary confinement. You're in prison in the middle of nowhere in the Atlantic Ocean. Then you come back and even those white people say zwakala B1 akere batho ba tla re he's Illuminati in Akusi Mandela lo phumile lo ya amanga lo phumile ushintshile. Ladies and gentlemen, that person became a president when he was in his 70. At that age, last thing in your mind is Diboy Mashesha. I hope Brazil Lena. I hope he's gonna get the best education. I hope Lena he's gonna be the best. What. That's the last thing on your mind. The best thing is you say was, okay, I've lived a long life. I sacrificed my family, I sacrificed my own life, I sacrificed my job, I sacrificed a lot of things, even my friends. Some of my friends will forever hate me because of I took a couple of decisions. Bona Robert Subuke Pela left even the ANC. Are Nina Mandela nenza kancane nina. Nengizoqala into yami. Mara the best thing to do and makgwa ao sela ba kgetha yena le one. And azanga ba mkhetha because of le ba batho dlela ka nqonde hae. White people to this day, they are paranoid about us. And one of the reasons they are paranoid is because of we got back, the whole world, we got back our countries. But there is no country that said, let's go kill the white person. We all got back our countries and we said, let's live our lives. As now, as much as America has the richest black people in the world, South Africa is the only country in the world whereby black people can say we run the country, we own our own cars, we own our own land, we own our own businesses, yes, they might be help one way or another, but like we have our own podcasts, we have our own businesses, we all have our own cars. About something you guys were not speaking about. You guys were not speaking about negative stuff. You guys were talking about nice life problem. But hey, bang ne moto le ya man le moto le ngibambe nge 10,000 I flipper.
Yeah.
Ke ntse so di bona go di YouTube go tsetsa bo Gary V tshonyana tse. Hey,
Hola.
kanjalo.
Yeah, you're
So
right.
we've got like, what's the way our country mnati ka teng ne? Bo Haval, bo Suzuki. All these, I remember back in the days, BMW didn't bring certain models of cars to South Africa because they knew we were not financially sufficient. It's series of no South Africa. Now even the prototype cars are now coming to South Africa. Now they see we've got money.
I think you're right. It's like this. Ugilabana only cheese boy. Ne?
I hope
This is a big one.
I hope the camera can see this.
This one is a big motherfucker.
Yo.
Yo, come say how's to the camera, yo. Yo, GOAT. Greatest of all time.
Yeah.
So I always likened it to this horror. Like Ukilabana, cheese boy, cheese girl, you got everything, got you complain about menial things, or yeah, my dad didn't do this, my dad didn't. But at that time, on a koloi, on a Wi-Fi, you got a big house, you got this, you got everything, but you still complain,
What's next?
So I think sometimes we don't appreciate, and I'm glad you raised this point, or you don't appreciate the good we have in this country. You don't appreciate how far we've come as a country. And of course, we're going to have problems. We're in Africa, for crying out loud. But, I pelar the cheese boys Africa. That's why everybody comes here, dog. Everybody comes here from all over the continent, all over, like Pakistan. Like, they come from all over. So it's a land of honey, land of opportunities. And Rona, we're sleeping on these opportunities. We're complaining about them. When I was growing up, you know how hard it was to find a library? Mokas. Moso we tuntate, ko topsi, ne resta di library, boss. No sonzo go Kopanung, and then after Kopanung, there's no other library from there. Serving Dobsonville. Khoneanung, you can go almost to every single kasi you'll find. Haisiko kasi, it's on your next door kasi. The swimming pool. No study swimming pools te paya mokas. Right now there's at least quite a few. So eternally stadium. The Wi-Fi hotspot. I mean, there's so much, dog. People have access to, and access to information is a lot more cheaper now. Now we're using a cell phone. Now you can access information from the palm of your hand. Go far, we'll batla library and search for information. And that time, the encyclopedia to find one piece of information. You just Google. So you forget the advances. And then some other chance. Sometimes black Africans who are middle class, hey, ANC has fucked up, it hasn't done this. You forget or you are middle class today because of the policy changes that needed to happen. BEE, affirmative action, you've benefited in the private industry because you were promoted into leadership positions within your private industry. Yes, you might have something to do with it. Maybe we'll scale, but remember, access was made easy. Legislation. You could go to a white school, you could go to university a lot more easier, and you forget about those advances that made it easier for you to become a black middle class or even to become a millionaire.
Like no offense. Like you can be gay proudly in South Africa. But nowadays in South Africa, South Africa is the only country in Africa whereby you can still do that nonsense of you are they.
Yeah.
Not supposed to say he or she. You didn't do they.
Yeah.
In other African countries, you're going to prison or you're dying.
That's it. And you can't say the president sucks, or you can't say anything about the president. So I think we are given a lot, and we don't appreciate the gains that have been made. And yes, the struggles and the challenges are still there. But I think, and then I try to remind my kids all the time, because you have everything, Haliti Tokolo, ne?
Ish.
So I don't know how ke tlo le bontshang tshokolo ka teng. Ke na lo nahana hore ke ba ise ko mekhukhung, ke ba ise ko kae, but it's not gonna be the same, you know. And ke na lo re ko bone ke re, you know, I wish you knew how good you've got it, you know, so that you can appreciate a lot more what you have, and acknowledge gore and like, you know, I'm blessed,
Hey, overly blessed.
overly blessed.
Overly blessed. Like, hey, what's it? Remnat, guy. What's it? Because the things that Kirisha research about, and this might be a bit controversial, but for now, ANC is the best party in the world, and I'm not, and this is not because of I'm a member. I'm not. I don't plan to be a member of the ANC.
Yeah.
But they are the best. Open as much as I spoke about Ditabal, like our ANC just said whisking blanket if it doesn't matter if you're gay, you're lesbian, you can even get married in South Africa, no questions asked if
Yeah.
you're gay.
Yeah.
And happily policy change. One of the two biggest problems got the ANC or our government, for now personally speaking, education, because our education is a one size fits all. Not every so and this is this is one of the biggest things I can say about that is and no disrespect mara guy education nobody can be something in life 30% or 40%, and not everybody is academically inclined towards life. Because I remember my mom used to say back in the days, it wasn't even if no sell academically in Twimbo, no to thola span. And if no sana span, if you are loitering around, no ya tronko. And the following day, but to thola span. Or ka kena ko ndaong ore go bolele makoko mong na re na if le go ana ntshwara gampe ka mo ne ke ya ko next door ke lo kokota ke lo kry mmereko. So go batla mmereko wa matsogo, because now we are now going, because that's how Africans are making money in South Africa. Is that the Mozambicans are the ones who are electricians. The Zimbabweans are now the teachers. The batho ba ko Lesotho, they are recycling, ke bone ba etsang recycling ya rona. So ba etsa mmereko wa matsogo. So our government needs to, the education side, they need to stop that one size fits all formula and is specify gore okay go na le batho ba matsogo, go na le batho ba academic, and gape le digital, go na le mmereko pa o digital. Parents, can I please reiterate this?
Yeah.
The world is going digital. The internet re sebedisang e tlisa ke bo Google le bo Amazon ka di-fiber cables tse huge, tse undersea cables tse gigantic. They spend billions. Tse tswang ko America, ko bo Europe, di feta all over the whole world, the undersea cables. Mmereko o baya o digital. Companies are, and every single company as we speak needs to have a digital footprint. Doesn't matter or it's a manala or electrician, every single business needs to have a digital footprint. As much as you're an owner, you cannot mina ngithandile izinto zama-social media zankenya casha ntwana yene prime ko kasi mo kae what's business account ya gago, mo kae Instagram handles tsa a run social media ya lona. There's a lot of account directors needed. There's a lot of digital strategists needed. There's a lot of social media managers needed. There's a lot of content creators needed. There's a lot of data scientists needed as we speak. You like miracle on my side for those type of things. So web developers, app developers needed in the next 5 to 10 years. Re so we about the metaverse, web 3.0, ka virtual reality. Bana children in matric, stop going to matric and saying I want to go be a lawyer. No offense, Mar, I want to go be a lawyer, I want to be a teacher. The world is not going there. I can guarantee you that. Every single business nowadays wants to go to bo Airbnb di ka le jwang. Airbnb azange ya qala bo di Uber who bona bo Bolt motho now has a job gona nje by an app. You never met the CEO ya Bolt. That Bolt it's ko Estonia, the most technology advanced country in the world as we speak. Ba shaka di e-passports, ka di the whole country. How about when they vote for a president? By they vote for the president via the internet. They don't have to remember go skela, bolofola line, one to one.
Yeah.
That's where the world is heading. Number two, the biggest problem ka our government and the ANC is communication. Tlamehile ba bona taba ya communication ba e paisisa because of there's another YouTube channel Living SA TV. If leng ka sheba krane ke le a chatting ke le Portuguese. Straight Portuguese. Le utlwa le ka accent ya hae. What's up my people? We here at the Living SA TV. Mara o dula bontsha di projects tse tsagalang like Waterfall City go tsagalang, Sentin, the billion dollar projects all tse tsagalang all over South Africa. Dula di bontsha di showcase. And what I realized is government is putting a lot of, for example, there is no country in the world that is spending as much money on ARVs as much as South Africa. ARVs are easily accessible in easily accessible in South Africa. When the ladies but from Mozambique, but Zimbabwe, they're giving birth in our hospitals. Our government, I realized last year, I only realized last year, because I came to the check-up in Kapa, you can easily go to any clinic in South Africa. We can go check up, and I will go check up for free.
True.
In America, not every single city in America, you can just open a tap and just drink the water.
True.
Our in the so-called biggest economy in Africa, Nigeria. This thing of having electricity for 24 hours a day, they've never heard of that shit. They've grown up with load shedding all their lives. So, our ANC government is the communication side. Okay, from money is coming out, but it's coming to to a specific spiny by. But the communication and I don't know how communication is from the money, because I get from the money to the actual person more if you can go there's a lot of people where the money is if you can go. So those people but to see the right information but they got to the wrong person.
Yeah.
And then the right person who's supposed to get it is getting the wrong information.
True.
So the wrong information can be sex, can be drugs, can be all these other nonsense, ziwago, but it's only information in it's wrong. And because the irony of it, but about information or they are the ones back over and spending that money, but push out that money laundering. And then no, Rapa is say, so a missing middle. Because the government spokesperson, they're not mentioning the right things, be it from each department. I see communication for the tourism, all of those other things. So this is what I'm saying. Like a good example is I remember a stimulus package. Stimulus package, abanya by busy crowd near 350.
Yeah.
But our president Nana Bisa, he was speaking about the stimulus package. That's bombastic English. And those stimulus packages are going to the average layman in the community. That person doesn't understand what is a stimulus package. So this is why I return and say, I'm a billion because of communication. I wonder if Ramaphosa once in a while now in his native tongue, the way you've let me put in, the way you go Saudi Arabia, the way in Europe they speak in their native tongues. Then there's a translator or there subtitles. I feel like things would be much more easier or they'll get done. I understand we are a diverse country. But once in a while I work as Chivenda or Stonga Sakobon.
You're right. And now I've always advocated for better communications. And you're right. Either in a relationship, in my case, married with kids. Dog, if I don't communicate properly,
it's fire.
Dog, like if I don't communicate properly with my family, dog, we'll be banging our heads against the wall every day. And I can only charity to lay out why. So you must understand, or every day I've got to communicate. And I can't say today I'm having a bad day. I can't. I must be able to say, okay, I listen to you at your own level, and I must be able to address you at your own level. Or o mogolo ke bua le ene a le mogolo, o mogare ke bua le ene yana, o monyane ke bua le ene at their own level. I cannot have a blanket approach to ha ke bua le mosadi le bana ka the same tone. Bana ke sentse ke ba approach it differently based on their ages le gore o jwang. So if communication is not working, there is no way I was going to manage my family. So and I think it goes for anyone, and it goes for every business, and it goes definitely for government. If you don't communicate, if President Habu, remember ka COVID, na dula le di family meeting. People were even religious.
People love that.
People loved that. Or okay, he might tell us nonsense. They even called it a family meeting. That's how important those sessions were. Then he stopped having them. And he did not have to stop. Nakadieta every Sunday or family. The top ploma, the top work and to say difficult.
And this and lastly, I don't want to be that guy who over talks. I want Mara last message to the ANC, ne? To our ANC government or our reigning government. As for obana that thing the obana what I realize is for our country the way rona rata nice life ka thing, ne? The only reason people hated COVID, ne, is because of people couldn't go to hang out together. Because I nowadays I say I used to be a place whereby communal vibes as much as this is why bring uniform communal vibes. So also had the community vibe. So now Mtsembi, that's the only place where you can go tell people like, yo, I got a new job, I got a new car, I got a new house, I'm getting married next week. So that's why people hated COVID. So and go tell people about my life currently. So and the thing about President Jacob Zuma, ne? People heard about Nkandla ka 2010. Nkandla came out in 2010. So when he came to president in 2009, by the following year, people already knew he's corrupt. Daba earlier going into Vartekloof, the Guptas, they get I think it was around 2015, 16. A long time ago. So we already knew a long time ago but we only started hating him only because of the when South Africans start feeling poor or feeling like they're going through poverty, that's when we start getting angry. So the President Ramaphosa, we already knew 2012 for he's a corrupt man. But the only reason we're getting pissed right now is because of now it's getting into our pockets. Now we don't have electricity. That's when we start getting pissed. So South Africans at least we don't complain about every single little thing. We complain about every single little thing, but as long as you ensure we are not bothered, as long as I can still spend my own money, as long as I can still make my own money, as long as I have electricity, as long as I can look after my children. Our South Africans just want to go with their families. I want to like when Brazil. As long as when you can go to the mall, load shedding, music, take selfies, post on social media. As long as Brazil is able to do that, you guys don't care about what the ANC government is doing. Because when you take care of the education part, when you take care of the transportation part, when you take care of the Wi-Fi part, as long as the government ensures myself as a young black person or as a South African, as long as I'm able to do that, South Africans don't care about you. So as long as you ensure us that those things, which petrol like duri, sinkos duri, ubisau duri, as long as we are able to do that.
The rest will take care of it.
South Africans love you. But if you start infringing on my personal space, that's when you start getting angry. That's when you start uncontrollable.
Melt, I think let's wrap it up. Now we can talk for another 3 hours. Because
Hello.
I'm just as I listen to you, I'm like, this nigga, we can chat about this, chat about
Yeah.
that, chat about this, chat
Yeah.
about that. But I think what it does, Corey, it allows for us to have a second bite.
Handle.
Really another conversation where we can, you know, co-create content that batlang go share, and then we just go like a flow, like we have now. But now it was just for me to understand you, and I'm impressed with the type of mind that you've got, you know. And I think it's always important for me to see the kind of mind the person has. Obo? Le pelo, le ora, gora or kaspanisana, or we can't work. Because there has to be a way where you can judge more. It's like, we can work. And then, I don't think it's not gonna go anywhere, you know? And you can always tell when you can have a long conversation, no man. Once again, here there's something that can come out of it, you know? So I really appreciate your time, dog, and I really appreciate your sharing of knowledge, because, you know, it has to be about sharing of content and knowledge, because and for me, I think as a podcast, as a show, I always felt because the Ntwana spend hours and hours on their phones, banal the Wi-Fi hotspot, let's create content telling alternative for them to come and say, oh, okay, Kandidi Bra is doing what I want to do. And Nako Kasiaka, there's nobody who's like this Bra. But because content era, I can actually learn something from this podcast, this episode. And this is what I wanted to get out of our conversation today, you know. So thanks for sharing your journey, man. I really appreciate it. And keep it up, man, because I think, as you say, you know, we've got a lot of problems, but we've also got a lot to be grateful for. And sometimes we focus too much on the negative, and we forget and like how can counter your blessings. Hey, thank God there's no civil war. Thank God I can wake up, the sun is out, I can hear the birds, my family is still alive.
Win the G20.
You know what I mean?
Win BRICS.
We like, there's so much to be grateful for. How many countries can say they have a BRICS, they are in the BRICS? BRICS is a new thing now. We're not exposing it, we're not doing too much about it. You know,
We've seen the same content creators, so we need to be the main content creator. That's why I love Mekchi, because Mekchi now he's taking that unnecessary attention that we were supposed to get, and then he's taking it for himself, that commercial attention. So now we are creating the niche content, and then people are gonna watch us in droves because of so.
And the space is big enough for everyone.
It's huge. It's gigantic.
And that's what I've seen Kari podcasters or Baba they come in with a thinking they want to be like a MacG or they want to be like a Smo, and then they don't realize or actually they can create their own niche and stick to it and follow it, you know. So I appreciate you for your time, dog.
Lastly, my people, Free Ride Podcast.
Come on now.
Check them out. Subscribe on YouTube. Click. Ganjalo. IG, follow. Facebook, Free Ride Podcast. Brother Brazak. Brother Sipo. Hit them up, man. Check him out on the streets, man. If you see like there's a lemon twist, Merc, old school, man. It's Brazak. It's Free Ride Podcast. Injalo.
And where can people follow you, bro?
Hit me up as Diboy Mashesha, Diboy Mashesha on Facebook. Go Instagram, get Diboy Mashesha, the truth in the flesh. And then go YouTube, it's Diboy Mashesha. And then even my platforms, Official Major World, OMW Agency, and you're in the right place with the right people. All you gotta do is subscribe, follow, get the best content, relatable content that will that will motivate, that will take.
Yeah, nice one, my guy. Much appreciated.
Respect.
Way.
Standardized.
We out, man. We out.
Come on.